Hi, everybody. This is Anthony Hines. I'm starting this LinkedIn Live event a little bit early. I'll be waiting for Jamie. Jamie Edwards will be showing up soon, and I will make sure that he joins us. So he'll be showing up in the next few minutes. Everybody, we're starting this now. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to let them get in here and get live, and we'll go. So, so what we're going to talk about tonight are basically tips and tools to help you get your next great opportunity. Um, let's let's start with a little bit of a talk regarding who I am. Um, I'm not like any of the other job search people you're going to meet on on LinkedIn or anywhere on the internet. I am not a coach. I'm not a professional. I just care a lot about trying to help people to get hired, and I do that because I've been there and I know the feeling, and I don't like it, and I never have liked it. So the fact is that I also understand that when you're going through it, it's a really tough thing. Um, so I'll take your questions. You can hold them here. You can hold them for Jamie when he comes. But basically, as I say, when I was unemployed in 2009, I had one interview in 13 months. And let me just tell you, I never forgot that feeling. And I never forgot what it was like when so many people promised they would call me. And so many people promised that they would do this for me or do that for me, or don't worry, I'll take care of you. And I would never hear from them again. So when I finally got a job, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to show people how to do this so that they don't feel lost and they don't feel like no one cares about them. And that was in 2010. And basically, by the time I get back on my feet, because it was a real tough time regarding the market and everything, it was 2011. But at that point, I just began to start documenting things. I created documents, Word documents, PowerPoints, everything I could to try to help people because um, I never wanted people to go through what I went through. And that was my goal. And that today is my goal and my objective so that people don't go through this terrible nightmare called unemployment. And the reality is that so many people they're not ready for this. You know, you do your job, you do everything right, you get good reviews, and all of a sudden you just called in the office and it's over. And there's nothing that gets you ready for that. So what I try to do is I say, okay, this happened. Let's do this, do that, do this, do that. And the fact of the matter is I give you a lot of tips to help you navigate this this crazy world of job search because when you're going through it, you really don't think clearly. You really don't think rationally. Sometimes you think everything is personal. You think everything is out to get you. This your brain just works so much against you. So I'm going to give you a bunch of tips as I wait for Jamie, and I'm just going to give them rapid fire. Rapid fire. I need you to grab a pen and start writing because here are the things that worked for me, and here are the things I found that help job seekers. Okay? I don't care. Now, before I start, I want you to know I might give you 30 tips, and maybe two of them will help you get a job. I don't really care what two of them work for you, as long as they work for you and they help you to get a job. Okay? That said, I also have a podcast here, which you see the link in front of you. Um, I have a patron setting where it helps me to pay my expenses because basically I'm not making a lot of money on this thing. I'm doing it because I'm helping people. But I do ask that if you join the patron level, you get the podcasts that are at the patron level of the podcast as well as all the free stuff. So just be prepared, and if please consider it because you get there are value adds that are involved. Also, I have a YouTube page that has a lot of subscribers, and I produce content, shorts, and videos all the time. Like this event will be up there tonight. It'll go up, and it'll be out there for YouTube. But the fact of the matter is, if you can't stay for this whole event tonight, you can check it out on my LinkedIn profile. It'll go up, yeah, or you can check it out on YouTube on my YouTube page. I'll put that link up for my YouTube page soon. I'll actually put it up during the event. Okay, the first thing when job seekers are going through the process, they're focusing on all of their applications. I need you to change that mindset. Okay. Stop thinking about how many applications you filled out. You're not going to get a prize for all the applications you fill out. Okay. What, what I, what I want you to do is I want you to basically focus on, um, the premise that I only need to get one job. Okay. Start focusing on the number one. That's what the game is about. You're looking for one job. Stop putting this pollution in your brain that I gotta if I put out more applications, I'm gonna get a job. You know what? Just keep applying. The number of applications, it doesn't matter about the number of applications. Okay. Is what matters everyone is you're getting one job. So you focus on the number one. That's what's key here. The number one. Okay. So that's the first thing. Next, and that's a real strong mindset, right? Stop thinking about the amount of applications. Like I see it all the time on LinkedIn. They go, I filled out 500 jobs. I've only got 2 interviews. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get a prize for the amount of applications you fill out. What the prize is the job. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the mindset of you. Okay. Let's talk about this. You're the spider. The fly is the job. The web that you create is your networking, your education, your development, your volunteering, your growth, your karma, your attitude, who you are, the ability to speak in an interview about who you are, the ability to communicate, the ability to present, the ability to be confident about yourself. That's the web, everybody. The web. It's not one thing in the web. You're the spider. You build the web. The fly comes, the fly is trapped in the web. The bigger the web, the bigger the chance the fly is trapped. Mindset, spider and the fly. The fact is, sooner or later, the fly's going to come. But is your web big enough, strong enough to catch that fly? That's what is up to you. Because the reality is, the more you educate yourself, the more confidence you believe in yourself as the solution, the more ability you have to talk about your skills with confidence. No, not cocky, but with confidence. You know how good you are. You know what you're about. You know who you are. So, my point is, you have to be able to talk with confidence. Okay? Also, Are you using this time to get certified? Are you using this time to get educated? Are you using this time to basically sharpen the pencil of the candidacy that you have become? Are you doing that? That's up to you. If you're sitting back and you're just applying, you're not building your web. You're not building your web. You're not developing yourself. That's the responsibility I tell people. You're responsible for your own candidacy. You're responsible for your own development. You're responsible to make yourself the best you can be. That is what you control, everyone. That is what you control. Your candidacy and the quality of you as a candidate. That is what you control. Online education. You take courses, you take classes, wherever they are, community center, community college for free if you're certain criteria, whatever you take, you get that on your LinkedIn profile as new education. If you're volunteering, get that in your profile as another, entry as volunteering, because then recruiters are going to see it that you're volunteering. How are you developing yourself? Those are the things that have to be in your profile. Okay. Next, let's sit back and I want you to make a list of all the people that know you and love you from all your jobs. Just make that list. Who did you go to lunch with all the time? Who loves you from 5 jobs ago, 3 jobs ago, 2 jobs ago, 4 jobs ago? You think you have them, you think you have them in your LinkedIn profile. But guess what? You don't. Because the mindset is you assume that you have them in your profile. Go make that list. Go check your profile. Are they connected to you? Make the list bigger. Check the profile. Are they connected to you? Get them out there and connect to them. And I will give you more in a few minutes, but I want to introduce the star of the show here, Jamie Edwards. Jamie, I kept them all occupied for you, as I know that you had some things to do, which are great. So let's get a quick talk a little bit about your great abilities regarding helping job seekers, both on the free side, which you do so well, better than everyone, as well as the other items that you offer.
Yeah, sure. So who we got? Do we have a good crowd in here? I see Scott Cohen's in here. Scott was one of my clients actually. So good to see you, Scott. Hope all is well with you, buddy. It's good to see some people in here. Who else we got in here? Anyone else you see in here? Anthony lately? I don't see many comments right now, right?
Yeah, there isn't many comments because I've been kind of putting them to sleep with a lot of talk, a lot of tips, a lot of tools. I told them to put them in here. We got about 13, 14, 15 people out on LinkedIn that are out there, but we're waiting for the comments. I think, Jamie, they were waiting for you. I mean, as much as they kind of put up with me, you're the show, buddy. So I think that they wanted to talk to you. So everybody, let's get your comments out there. Get some questions. Jamie will answer them from the perspective of not only a coach but a former recruiter. Jamie knows the world of recruiting. So let's go. Let's get those questions out there and let's see what we got. Jamie, what's going on in the world? What's going on in your business?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? So let me just introduce myself to those who don't know me. I'm Jamie Edwards. As Anthony said, I do career coaching and I help people with their job search. And I have my own company called Jam Sessions with Jamie. And what I do is I help job seekers every day with I call the three most important things with a job search, right? Which is resume writing, interview practice, and LinkedIn profile optimization. And I work with people every single day. I work with many different job seekers. Scott was actually somebody I worked with too as well at one point. And pretty much I've been doing this now for 2.5 years on my own, and I've worked with over 500 different job seekers over the past 2.5 years, and I have about 160 recommendations now on my LinkedIn page. So just, continuing to help as many people as possible. And I do it at a price that's cheaper and, more affordable than most other coaches because, let's be honest, it's tough when you're job searching and funds and things like that. So I try to offer my coaching packages at an affordable price so people can work with me and really help them get back into the job force, right? Because it's just super tough out there right now in today's job market. So that's a little bit about me. I know Anthony was mentioning the free stuff I do. So there's a link there's a link in our event page and also on my page as well. So if we're not connected, check out my LinkedIn page. But what I do is I offer discovery calls for everybody, and it's basically a free resume review. So if you want to schedule a call with me, about 15 to 30 minutes, I'll go over your resume for free. Don't worry, I won't pick it apart like crazy. I'm going to pretty much just give you honest, truthful advice. So I'm going to go through your resume. I'm going to show you what needs to be changed. I'm going to just give you some feedback on it. And then I'll tell you a little bit more, obviously, about what I do and the services I offer and how I help job seekers. And, resume writing is one of the biggest things I do for people. So, if I can get on a call, anybody wants to just have a conversation, please don't hesitate to go to the link, set up some time, and let's talk. Anthony
Jamie,
was asking, yeah.
one thing, Jamie. My headphones. I don't know if I heard this right. Did you say 156 recommendations? That's what you
Uh,
have in profile.
Yeah, close to 160 actually. Yes. So, like I said, I take a lot of
Wow.
pride in what I do, right? It's a passion of mine. I love doing this. That's kind of, yeah, if I can get people hired or at least get people getting traction on their job search, I mean, that's
Wow.
really what it comes down to. It's very tough.
Right. So, Jamie, what are you seeing in the job market right now? What's going on?
Yeah, so spring hiring is setting ablaze right now. I'm seeing more. I'm seeing a lot of recruiters actually right now posting jobs on their profiles outside of normal LinkedIn jobs, right? So I'm starting to see more recruiters hiring for more roles, posting it on their news feed. I'm scrolling through my news feed and I'm seeing job requisitions out there, which is good news for job seekers. I mean, we're starting to see more jobs coming out. Companies are starting to they're starting to know what their budgets are for the rest of the year and how many people they can hire. So that's a good sign, right? It's like, kind of like spring cleaning, I call it, right? They're going through and they're wanting to find more people. So that's a good thing. It's definitely good for job seekers. On the flip side too, I know there's still a lot of people obviously looking for jobs, and it's a tough market, and it's just there's still layoffs happening, unfortunately. But the good news is we are seeing more hiring happening, and it should continue to pick up as the weeks go on.
Julie has a question. I find my focus is off. Do you see that, Jamie? The question from Julie.
No, why don't I see? Oh, yes. Okay. You know what? I see. I was scrolling the other way in the comments. All right. I was looking at the wrong things. Yeah. I know on my phone, it's a little bit different, right? So I would just see who's in here. Tina's here from the UK. Let me see. Maznor is here. Hey, Maznor, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you on here. We just connected recently, so good to see him. Yeah. So Julie says, I find my focus is off. Do you have a suggestion on how to structure a job seeker's week, such as percentage of time networking, percentage of time applying, and percentage of time on LinkedIn looking for jobs and connections? Ooh, that's a loaded question. I don't know if I really have, everybody's different, right? But what I like to do is, okay, let's talk about networking, right? The first thing I like to do on LinkedIn is I like to spend time networking because, part of job searching, right, is getting eyes on your profile and getting recruiters and hiring managers to see things you're talking about. Now, Julie, I don't know if you post content yourself and whatnot, but that's something that I teach in my LinkedIn session is I show people how to create content. I give you ideas and things to post about. But when it comes to networking, I suggest waking up in the morning and spending, if you're a job seeker, I would suggest spending probably a good hour on LinkedIn and commenting on people's posts. Now, this is a golden nugget here. I'm going to share something here. Julie, I don't know what your industry is or what your background is, right? But what I recommend doing is I recommend searching for hashtags related to your background. So what I like to do is, let's say you're in human resources. What I would do is I would search for hashtag HR or hashtag human resources or whatever things that are related to human resources. And what I would do is it'll show you all the different posts from people who are talking about that topic. And what I would do is I would comment on those people's posts and add some insightful advice or some comments on people's posts that really get you noticed. And what's going to happen is when you do that, people are going to see your comments. People are going to wonder, who's this Julie? Who's Julie giving good advice or giving some good insight on this topic that this person's talking about? And what do you think that's going to do? It's going to draw people to clicking on your name and wanting to look at your profile and see what you're all about. So I recommend obviously spending most of your day applying. I mean, as a job seeker, you really should be applying to as many jobs as you feel like you can, right? Because you don't want to miss out on jobs. You want to always be one of those first applicants. But you definitely want to sprinkle in some networking. And that's probably part of LinkedIn too as well. So, a majority of the day you want to spend on LinkedIn, to be honest with you, because that's where most of the jobs are being posted, or websites like ZipRecruiter, Monster, Career Builder, Indeed, things like that. Make sure you're spending time on them and make sure your resume is updated and it's on those sites all times so people can find you easier. Good question.
Another thing, Julie, that I wanted to add is if you have a structured event that's coming up, like say you're in a professional organization, they have a dinner. Well, guess what? If they're having a meeting that week and people are getting together, that's the central focus for you for that week. So you base your availability on that event. Say you have some other networking events coming. You make sure you go to those. They become your priority and you work off those, the things that Jamie's saying, but you're centrally thinking about those major events where you're going to meet people, especially if they're in your industry, because that's fish in the barrel. They want to meet you, you want to meet them. If you apply, you'll get to link to them on LinkedIn. Let them know you've applied because they probably have a referral program in their company. And guess what? If they can help you get hired, they get paid. You are now green to them, right, Jamie?
Right, exactly. That's really good advice there. Yeah, and Brenda said that's a great idea. I think she's talking about the posting and stuff like that. But yeah, LinkedIn is still the place to be. As much as there is, as much as sometimes you find scammers out there, you just have to be diligent. You've got to know how to scuff out the bad people, right? But it's still the best place to network. It's still the best place where people are posting jobs. It's still a great place to be, to be noticed out there, right? And Patrick says I can't get my sound to work. Will there be a recording? I don't.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
There
Yes.
is. There is. Yeah,
LinkedIn
you
Live.
can go.
It's going to be in my profile and it's going to be in my YouTube page when you're done. So don't worry about it. There'll be a recording. Um,
There you go.
yeah, but
Good
but
stuff.
that's it. That's it, Jamie. I've been telling people post daily. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So okay, I actually didn't post today myself, to be honest with you, but I
What?
always tell people. Yeah, I
Slacking?
know. Yeah, I've been busy with some other things. I haven't gotten post up, but to that thing, if you're new to posting and you are someone who's not sure what to post about, one of the things I'll tell people is, to start slow if you have to. Start with once a week, twice a week. You have to get your, you got to crawl before you can walk, right? So pick a couple days that you want to post. You can even schedule your post too. I don't know if you all know this, but you can actually schedule any post you want on any day and any time. So if you wanted to do 2 posts every Wednesday at 8 a.m. And I always recommend posting in the morning because that's the time everybody's up and having their coffee and they're looking at LinkedIn for the day, right? You never want to wait till night or late afternoon because people are sometimes at work or they might not see it, right? You always want to get the full day's worth. So you always want to post. But yes, the more you can post, the better. And just showing up, it doesn't have, you don't have to, what I always tell people is if you want to talk about professional things, which obviously that's important, right? Talk about things that you've learned in your job. Teach people things. People want to learn and they want to hear stories. So if, once again, I'll go back to that example in human resources. Talk about things like, here are 5 things that you can do, that here are 5 ways that you can make your hiring process easier. Or here's 2 mistakes that I learned the hard way when I was a recruiter. People love to learn. They love to see lists and they want to learn things about your profession. And if you're talking about things in your profession and you use hashtags that are relevant to your background, people are going to find you and they're going to want to look at your page. And just showing up is better than not showing up. So if you're just a lurker and you're just strolling through LinkedIn all day and just looking for jobs and just seeing what's out there, there's a lot of those people out there. But imagine if you take the next step and you start posting. Now you're going to start getting noticed more.
The thing that I always say is I love when people put what they did wrong and how they recovered from it. Because everybody, it's easy to write what you did well, and yeah, right, great. But if you write, gee, I made this mistake and this is how I recovered, I believe that that's good information for people because as you say, Jamie, I think people feel more connected to people that make mistakes because everybody has that fear in their life. You know what I mean? That they're going to make mistakes. So this is what I did. You know, that's why I'll say, Jamie, I'll give 50 tips on this thing, on this talk. But the reality is, you may only find that 2 of them work for you. I don't care what 2 work for you. I care that you get a job. Jamie, tell them about that free spotlight that you do. That thing is fabulous.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. So, yes, one of the things, if anyone's been following my page for a while or you've just seen my posts at all, one of the things that I do for everybody that I work with is a spotlight post. Now, I call it a spotlight post because that's what we're doing is I want to highlight the people I'm working with, right? And a lot of career coaches don't do this because they feel like it's too much extra work for them, or I got to make a post now and that's going to be my content for the day, right? Well, let me tell you this, the spotlight post has helped people get noticed by recruiters and hiring managers in my network, right? And what the spotlight post is it is a way to highlight you personally and professionally to my entire network. So what I do is I'll put together a post for you where I'll highlight your background. I'll tell people what job you're looking for next. I'll share some of your accomplishments. I'll share a personal thing about you. Maybe you like to go fishing. Maybe you enjoy playing basketball. Maybe you like this, whatever it is. I'm going to share a fun fact about you because that's what people are looking for, people who are good, that are good for the culture, right? And they want to know what you're all about besides professionalism. And then I will post it on my LinkedIn page, and I have about 35,000 followers in my network, right? And a lot of those people are recruiters and hiring managers looking for talent. So it's just something extra that I do with any of my coaching sessions. It doesn't matter if you do resume only or LinkedIn or interview, or if you do all 3. You get a spotlight post and you get to be highlighted and featured on my page, and it's awesome. People like it. You get to see your name, and I say get your name in spotlight, right? Because that's where jam sessions comes from with Jamie. It's all music related, so you get to be in the spotlight on the stage in front of everybody.
Jamie, look at Brenda's question about posting certifications. Um, Before you start, Brenda, short version. Every single thing that you get regarding a community center education or a LinkedIn learning education, you should have that setting on your profile that when you complete the course, it automatically goes in under your education.
So
Get that up there. Make sure your
yeah,
people know that, right, Jamie? Go.
right. So LinkedIn Learning. What about posting? Okay, let's put this into perspective, right? If you don't post it, no one's going to know. Nobody's going to know you're taking these certifications, right? It's not really going to help you at all. If you do post it, it might not help you at all either, but there's a chance that somebody's going to see the certifications and they're going to see that you're being active and you're not just sitting in your computer applying all day, but you're bettering yourself. You're learning things, right? You're self practicing your self development. I would post everything. Doesn't matter. What does it hurt, right? It's like the people who say, should I apply to all the different jobs if I'm not 100% a match? And I'm like, yes, because if you're only 70 or 80% and you don't apply, that's just as good as getting a rejection email if you do apply. But if you do apply, there's always that chance that you get a call and somebody says, oh, well, they meet 80% of the job requisition. Maybe we can teach them the other 20%. If you don't apply at all, guess what? You're not going to get a call anyways. So you might as well put yourself out there, right? So good question, Brenda.
NHL Hall of Fame player Wayne Gretzky says, "You miss 100% of the shots you do not take." So the reality is, if you don't take a shot, you're guaranteed to miss that. Okay, so regarding certifications, also get them on your signature. If you notice, look at my LinkedIn signature. Every certification I have is after my name. Actually, at my job, they make fun of me because I always have that listed. They always say, gee, he's the alphabet guy. Yeah, you know why? Because all those certifications are mine, mine. I'm proud of every one of them. And the fact is, you got it and you deserve to put it out there. Give yourself credit, get what you deserve. Brenda, they all go out, you show them off. Also, when I was out of work, my one of my former managers happened to see on LinkedIn that I got my PMP. It ended up getting me a 6 month contract because he saw I got certified. So the answer is show it, talk about it. It's a great accomplishment. Never downplay. Remember, everyone, if there's one thing you need to remember out of this meeting, it is humility is the enemy of the job seeker. Humility is the enemy of the job seeker, right, Jamie? Talk about
Yes.
who you are. Talk about it, right, Jamie?
Talk about what?
Talk about your accomplishments. Never be humble regarding your own
Oh yeah.
accomplishments.
Yeah.
Be com-
Yeah, talk about your accomplishments. Light it up on your resume. Things that you've done, right? I mean, your resume, your LinkedIn, your content if you want to talk about things you're proud of. This is your brag box, right? Like you should be talking about the things you're doing well and the accomplishments you have. Your resume should be your bullet points should be highlighting things you've done, whether it's you achieved something or you increased this by this much or you reduced the amount of complaints from clients by doing that, whatever it is, right? You should be highlighting anything that's an accomplishment and shout it out, right? You should be celebrating those wins on your job search. If you applied to 10 jobs and your goal was to get 5 job applications for the day and you doubled that, that's a celebration. I don't care if you haven't gotten an interview yet out of those jobs. You put your head down, you put your foot on the gas, and you kept applying. And to that, you should celebrate it and maybe even announce it on a LinkedIn post. Just that's what people like to see, accomplishments, right? If you get an interview or you might say, oh, well, I don't know how it's going to go. Who cares? You got an interview. Be, you know, be, be excited for it. There's many people who would love to be in your shoes that are like, oh my goodness, Brenda got an interview. That's awesome. I wish I can get an interview. Good positive energy and good karma rubs off on people and they want to work harder, right? So yes, you gotta shout it out. Shout it if you got it.
An interview is progress. Remember, what I said, Jamie, before you joined is remember the spider and the fly. You are the spider. The fly is the job. The web you build is your education, your development, your confidence, your ability to interview, your networking, your profile. That's the web. That's how it gets the fly. Because the bigger you make the web of developing yourself, making yourself the best candidate, the best chance you have of getting the fly, which is the job, right, Jamie?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that. You're right. It's all about building your web, building your house, things like that. Exactly. Yeah, that's good. And Scott says we should talk about the LinkedIn algorithm. Or we could talk about the algorithm for a long time, Scott. But to be honest with you, none of us know what the algorithm is doing and if it changes on a daily basis and whatnot. And, I always tell people this, like, stop worrying so much. I always tell people to stop worrying so much about an algorithm because you know what? An algorithm is not always something you can control. I'll be honest with you. Like, I post every day. Some of my posts hardly get any traction these days. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm shadow banned for some reason,
Cash,
or
baby.
maybe, yeah,
Cash,
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
Cash,
maybe they
baby.
want me to finally get LinkedIn Premium or whatever it is, right? But I don't get upset about it, right? Because as long as I'm showing up and somebody's seeing my post and I might get one new connection or a couple of followers or whatnot, like, I just love to get myself out there, right? That's what it comes down to. I love to just I love to create content and post and if something goes viral, great. If not, no worries. We just can't control that algorithm. The only people who know the algorithm is those who work internally on LinkedIn and will never know.
But Jamie, I bet you magically, out of nowhere, the second you start becoming a higher level paid member, magic boom will happen for you where things will suddenly just show up more. Oh, such a coincidence. Let's go with Julie. You see that question, Jamie? Go ahead.
Yeah, Julie says another question is having a key competency section on a resume helpful to have, or would that be space be better served with better bullets? I know the ideal would be to incorporate all the key competencies and bullets, but that's not feasible for me. Yes, you always want to have a core competency section. It should usually be placed between your professional value proposition or your summary, as some people call it on top, and your professional experience, right? I mean, when I build resumes for people, I always include 9 to 12 core competencies. Core competencies are keywords that can match the job requisition you're applying to, which in turn helps you get through that applicant tracking system and a better chance of getting into the hands of a human being. So yes, you definitely want to have a core competency section on a resume. I think it's super important. When I build resumes for people, I have a template I use. It's very ATS friendly. It's got even a good number of core competencies. It's got a good number still of bullet points of accomplishments. You've got a small paragraph of your duties and responsibilities, right? So there's definitely a method to what I do when it comes to resume writing. I mean, I've been doing this now for quite some time. I have a knack for it. But yes, you always want to have that key competency section. So good question. Good question.
Jamie,
Um,
what's going on your clients? Are they getting hired? Are we still at that 89, 90% success rate? That
Yeah,
amazing
we're
success?
close. We're close to it around 87, 88. We're still pretty high up there though. I mean, yeah, it's been good. I mean, I worked with one guy recently who was struggling to get interviews because he didn't like the way his resume looked, and I ended up building him a new resume. And he had last week he had 4 interviews in a week. That's pretty darn impressive. I mean, I don't just pat myself on the back for that, right? Because obviously he's the one doing the applying too as well. But I mean, yes, one of the things I do is I always make sure when I build a resume that I run it through an applicant tracking system. I actually have access to applicant tracking systems on my computer, and I run it through to make sure that it is compliant. So yes, people are getting more interviews. Like I said, after working with me, I did have one lady I worked with just got a job as a human resources director. We actually signed up for 3 sessions: resume, LinkedIn, and interview. We did the resume and the LinkedIn first, because she felt her interview skills were already good. She started getting immediate interviews shortly after, and she ended up getting a job for a pretty well known company as an HR director. And we didn't even do the interview session yet, so she's going to hold off on that for when she might need it one day. So now she's got it in the bank for when she needs it, right? Because she doesn't need it right now. So that's the beauty. I love this, right? I love doing what I do and getting people hired. So Anthony just posted the link to get the free resume review and whatnot, guys. You'd be kicking yourself in the butt if you at least don't have a conversation. The only thing I ask is if we sign up for a resume review and we have a conversation, I just ask that you are open to the idea of career coaching, right? It doesn't mean you have to enroll. I just want you to have an open mind. That's all, because I take pride in what I do. I know there's a lot of scammers out there, and there's people I know that are not so good people when they do what they do. But I mean, this is what I love to do, and when people talk to me on my calls, they can see the passion behind what I do, and the happiness I get from helping people get back into the workforce.
And there's a secret, everybody. Jamie, close your ears. There's a secret. His 15-minute calls always go longer than 15 minutes. Don't tell him I told you that, but that's kind of what's out there, right, Jamie?
They do. They do. They normally go longer. I mean, if what's 15 minutes goes by so fast. So, I mean, there's always so much to talk about and answer some questions at the end and stuff like that. So, that's what it's for, right? I don't like to cut people off and say, sorry, Charlie, 15 minutes, we're done. Like, I try to give people, a little bit extra time and whatnot, just, because I know it's important. They want to make sure that they're investing in their future. That's the
Oh,
biggest thing I can tell you. You're investing in your future. You're not just spending money on a Starbucks coffee or a Target run or something like that, right? You're investing in your future as a goal to get back into the workforce faster and be prepared for if you ever are in this position again where you're looking for a job. That's what it all comes down to.
right. And the another point that myself and Jamie have both been laid off in the past. So it's not like we're talking to you from 50,000 feet, like so many people on LinkedIn that do LinkedIn lives talk to you. Like they talk to you like, oh, don't worry, things will be fine as your bills come in every day and your money goes lower and lower and lower, and the people who say that they're going to call you never call you, and all these things happen. And so many people on LinkedIn will sit there and say, oh, everything will be just wonderful. Let me tell you, it's not that way. You know it. We know it. We come back to you every couple of weeks because we drive your hope with very basic ideas to help you to get your job search moving. Another thing I wanted to throw in quickly is that when you have an on-site interview, drive to the location a day before at the time of the interview. That way you learn the speed bumps, the spotlights, the traffic lights, the school buses, the construction, all the delays that can occur, things that you never thought about. Because that way, when you've done that, you know how long it's going to take you to get there, and you're not running in 10 minutes late while the person looks at their watch and goes, sorry, too late. Get there early, get there on time, and when you do that a day before, it's going to take the stress away from that event. So make the ride. And what I also say is park, go into the receptionist, tell them you have an interview tomorrow. You just wanted to do a dry run, make sure you know how to get there. They're going to tell the hiring manager that. So the fact is, you're already going to get credit for that. And they might even give you the visitor badge the day before because they so respect that you respect them by getting there early and don't come in rushed. Think about it. Do it every time you have an on site interview. It's going to help you. I promise you. As well as when you're there, make sure you make conversation with the receptionist. I swear the hiring manager will come out every time and ask the receptionist, what did you think? And that
Yeah.
do They're doing that to see if you can relate to people at different levels. Get connected to the people you come in contact with. Right, Jamie?
Yeah, being a people person, that's important. If you're going on to an on-site interview, and there's other people that talk to you before the person interviewing you does, believe it or not, they're looking, they might be even looking at you, and I can't, you never know. They might be seeing how you interact and how are your people skills, right? And are you going to be a team player? Are you going to interact with people? When I was working for Chase and I was applying, for, I was a branch manager for several different branches at one point, and I remember coming in for my interview. And I just remember before the district manager came out to interview me or whatnot, like I was walking around the branch, I was shaking hands with the tellers, the personal bankers, the investor. I was just introducing myself and letting them know that I'm applying for the branch manager role at their branch, and just that, and I was excited, and I was just asking questions, and I was already warming up to them. And I promise you that at the end of the interview, the person who interviewed me asked them specifically, "What did you think of this guy? Was he nice to you guys? Did he interact? What do you think? How do you think he would be if he was to be a leader?" Right? Like
What's the
that's things they're
fit?
looking for.
What's the fit? Jamie, do you have any advice for international students? That maybe one of the maybe some of the universities in Chicago have an international program. I will take this if you don't, because I'll tell the people what to do. What do you got for that? Anything?
Yeah, I'm not too good with that, like well, I mean, if he's just asking about international students transitioning the project management, I mean, he's saying securing internships and co-ops. Like, I don't really, I mean, you probably know a little bit more about this, but like, I guess like all you can do is just keep putting yourself out there, right? Looking for the opportunities that are specific for international students, possibly. I don't know if there's really a better strategy that I can share for something like that for just an international student in general, other than just continuing to network and searching for those opportunities. I mean, Anthony, do you kind of have any insight on this
Yeah,
one?
I get a lot. I get a lot. Well, I spoke at Northeastern at that Northeastern University a while ago in that program. Derek, you do this. Number one, you get in that career center and you sit there until they help you. You've spent a lot of money at that university. You make sure that they help you. Number two, get your hands on a Northeastern alumni list, and I want you to go through it and see what other international students that are out there, link to them on LinkedIn, and see what kind of connections you can make with previous students who have gotten jobs. Number three, I want you to volunteer in the community. I want you to get that volunteering information in your LinkedIn profile. Number four, I want you to recommend people that are in your class, people that had that you did casework with, people that were classmates. Recommend them on LinkedIn and have them recommend you. That's going to build up your recommendations. Just because it wasn't a job, there were successes that occurred at Northeastern. I want you to make sure those successes show that you organized the group, you presented, you helped the group to get a tremendous grade. The point is, recommending is not just about work, it's about success. Make sure you link to all your classmates. Make sure that you recommend each other. Make sure you job search together. What that is, get everybody together, have an event, a Zoom event, have everybody job search. Not everybody will be in the Boston area trying to job search there. Job search together as a group. You give the jobs off to each other and you help each other work as a group. Does that help?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that was pretty good, Anthony. And yeah, just yeah, that was some really good advice. And I see a few people. I'm just looking at my phone here. I see a few people already enrolling in discovery calls that want to do career coaching possibly. So that's exciting. Looking forward to meeting some new people in here and reviewing your resume as well. So like I said, take advantage of some of these free resources, right? I mean, I know career coaches who charge to do these discovery calls and these resume reviews, and I just like I said, it's my way to get to know people better and put together a plan for them, right? And I don't know who this LinkedIn user is, but they said, thanks, Anthony and Jamie, for your guidance and advice for success. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is, Anthony?
No, it's not coming up. So whoever you are, just tell us your name. We want to thank you personally. Derek, I gave you about 10 things, buddy. You got all this stuff, right? Did you write that down? Because don't ask me. I'm going to forget 8 of them because I just rattled them off and they're gone. They go, listen, guys, they go in one ear through the empty area in between, and then they go right out the other ear. So if I'm not on a roll, it's up to you guys to write this stuff down. So be ready. Jamie,
Sweet.
talk a little bit about the value of volunteering. A lot of people are not getting this. Talk about the value of volunteering.
Yeah, well, first off, volunteering is a good thing in general, right? You're doing something nice for supporting something, right? I mean, volunteering helps in a lot of different ways, right? We'll talk about what it does from a job searching perspective and the people you meet volunteering, but just volunteering in general is good for your mental health, right? I mean, we don't talk about this enough either. Like, when you're a job seeker, you spend hours and hours and hours every day sitting in front of the computer, applying to jobs. It gets very tedious, right? You've probably dealt with the getting rejection emails and being upset about things and whatnot. You're just wanting somebody to obviously take you in and start working again, right? But you have to take time to yourself. And one of those ways to work on your mental health is to volunteer. And volunteering is a good thing because you never know who you're going to meet volunteering, right? If you volunteer at the Chamber of Commerce or you do you volunteer, I don't know, search for volunteer opportunities in your area on Google, right? Just search for them, see what you can find. You never know who you're going to meet at a volunteer event. You can even bring some resumes with you if you want. I mean, why not, right? Bring some resumes. If you want to make business cards one day, there's cheap places you can make business cards that have your name and phone number on them and what you do. You might meet somebody who is a higher up at a job or a company, or somebody who works for a company already and they're looking for more people. And that's your time to network and meet new people. Not only are you doing something nice volunteering, but you might find an opportunity as well that you never would have found if you didn't volunteer.
Kathleen, here's your answer. When you're applying for jobs, go to the company page. Look and see if you have contacts in the company page, the people that are working there that are connected to you. If they're a second level, work with the person that they're a first level with and get introduced to people inside those companies. The fact is, don't just blindly apply. If there's a professional organization event coming up, you want to go to that event, link to people at the event. They could be working at the companies you apply to. And once you apply and you get a connection, send them the job, send them the job number. Because if they recommend you and you get hired, they get paid. So the reality is, I want you to think about that. Get that moving, get that going. Because the fact is, you probably know people inside these companies. Check the company page, right, Jamie?
Yeah, check the company page is a good thing. See what they're talking about. See what they're writing about. See, if you have an interview, you can bring it up possibly. I know Kathleen did say that she applies for opportunities and gets no feedback. What? Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
right there. So my daughter. So yeah, Kathleen says, there's no feedback or information provided from potential employers. Well, yeah, you if you're talking about feedback from applying to jobs and then, getting a rejection email or interview and you want to know feedback, it's very tough, right? Unfortunately, they are busy and sometimes they just don't have time to provide candid feedback, right? But I mean, you can at least ask for it and see if they'll respond back to you, right? And stuff like that. They might be able to give you feedback on that. But you just can't expect it because, it's very rare when a company will give you feedback on something. I just know this firsthand. So Casey says, So you should list volunteer efforts on your resume. I should add mine. You know, if you want to add it, you can. I mean, is it really going to help you on a job search? I don't know, honestly. I mean, I don't put volunteer stuff on my resumes that I build for people. I always like to talk about the volunteer stuff in an interview. Is it going to hurt your chances anyway? No, it's not going to hurt it either way. So, but is it necessary on a resume? Not necessarily either. But it's still good to talk about it in an interview because that will show that you are somebody who is all about helping out if they have volunteer opportunities, if the company has a volunteer opportunity, right? So I think it's good that you volunteer in general.
But
And
get
keep,
it on your
yeah.
profile. Get it on your LinkedIn profile as its own entry, Casey, because it's going to give you an update, and people are going to make sure on every update that your network knows that you updated your profile and they see the update. Put it on there as on your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile is your infomercial, right, Tim?
What'd you say?
Your LinkedIn profile is your infomercial, right, Jamie?
Yeah,
It's your infomercial.
your LinkedIn profile is a personal brand extension of you, right? So you can't just look at your profile as, oh, people are going to come on there and they're going to see where I worked in the past and they're going to learn a little about me. No, it really is your personal brand and your everything from your banner to your headline to your about me section to your content that you post to the recommendations you have on your profile. Everything is a personal brand. If you go to my profile, and I don't know if my actual profile is in the thing, but my last name is Edwards. So if you look up Jamie Edwards, you'll be able to find me easily. You'll see me with a black hat on. That's my profile. But if you go to my LinkedIn page, I want you to look at it, and I want you to just see right away if you can tell what I do based on my banner, my headline. I want you to see how fast it takes you to know what I do. If you didn't know that I did career coaching, that's important. The minute you go on my page, you should be able to tell right away what I do and how I help job seekers because I have it splattered all over my page because that's my personal brand, right? So it definitely is like your infomercial and things like that. Let's
Casey says,
see.
where do you add volunteering, Jamie? You add it as a new sort of job, right? You add it up there but you write that it's volunteer. You make that clear, right, Jamie? You add it up there and you put it in interests as well, right, Jamie?
Yeah, you can put on interests, I believe it is. I don't remember what they call it nowadays, but there's a spot, Casey, if you click on the pencil icon, I think towards the bottom, I'll have to look specifically if it says volunteer or if it says, I think I could probably check it on my LinkedIn actually. I'm looking at, oh, I can't see my page here. But yeah, I believe it's under something here and I'm actually looking right now.
Yeah. So Jamie just froze. But the reality is there is a section for it. So you're back, Jamie. Yeah, there's a
Sorry,
section
I tried to
of
look at my
putting
profile. Yeah, I think it's under maybe projects or volunteers, something like that. But I mean, yeah, you definitely there's a spot you can add it.
guys, I'm going to tell you again, humility is the enemy of the job seeker. The fact is, if you're doing it, get it on the profile. Remember, too, if you're interviewing, interviews are a conversation. I think Jamie stole that from me, and he tells his people this.
No
Interviews
way.
are a conversation. Borrowed it. You borrowed it. The fact is, interviews are a conversation. They're not This is not a high school dance where you got to impress somebody. They're a conversation. You go in there, you be confident, you talk about yourself, you're experienced, you're successful, you're educated, you're great. Remember, you're great. You are a supreme candidate. Every day, every week, you're making yourself a better candidate. You're making your web better. You're developing yourself. You're becoming the best candidate you can be. And then when you start working with people or meet people or the like, remember, the more you do, for yourself, right, Jamie? If they come to you and talk with you, even the free stuff, you're able to do more with them because they've developed themselves, right, Jamie?
Right, right, exactly. Yes, all about that development. Exactly, you're absolutely right. Um, I want to touch base really quick too on before we end the call here. I know we got 3 minutes here. I want to talk a little about the open to work banner, right? Because I always like to bring this up in the call. But
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't bring it up. I gave you a break. Go ahead,
I
Jamie.
know. It's all good. My blood was. I was thinking about talking about it, but really quick, Aswin is in here. Says these are really helpful. Thank you both. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Maznor says Jamie, your angle is near. I think he said angel is near. I think so. I don't know if he was talking about my daughter. She's my little angel. She was here talking to me. Maybe he saw me doing that or whatnot. But yeah, thanks for calling that out. And yeah, let's talk about the open to work banner. So I've been seeing posts about it lately. Like, people still split on like, should I use my banner? Should I not use my banner? Should I use it? Does it make me look desperate? Does it not make me look desperate? Um, I tell everybody this. You should always be using your banner no matter what. I don't care if you have your banner shown to just recruiters or if you have your banner shown to everybody. That banner is a way for people to find you easier and to know that you are actively looking for a role. If you don't have that banner up, nobody's going to assume that you're looking for work. Nobody's going to just reach out to you and ask you if you have an opportunity or if you're looking for an opportunity. That that open to work banner is going to help you get noticed easier and help recruiters find you better. It's not a sign of desperation. It's just there to help you. That's it. So if anyone ever tells you that it makes you look desperate or whatnot, or they try to look at it as a negative way, I want you to ask yourself, would LinkedIn really come out with a feature that would shine a negative light on job seekers when a lot of what LinkedIn does from a professional standpoint is job searching and helping you grow professionally? Like, no. Use that banner and then use it as motivation to take it down once you find an opportunity and wear it with pride, because that's what you got to do when you're looking for a job. Is you got to do everything you can to get yourself noticed. So use that banner.
Jamie, some people are feeling pretty down. Things aren't working for them. They've kind of lost hope. What do you got to say to those people?
It's very easy to get down in a job search. It is. It's one of the toughest things, honestly. I think so. Like, rejection is hard, right? I mean, no, it doesn't matter where you get rejected, right? It doesn't matter in your life how rejection is, right? Rejection is hard in general. So if you're down from a job search, just know you're not alone, right? And there's things that you can do to try to curb that rejection feeling or feeling down in the dumps, right? And one of the things I want you to remember is that every rejection you get, don't look at it like you did something wrong. There's a lot of things that you probably did right. Maybe they just didn't hire you because they went with an internal candidate, or they didn't hire anybody because they just closed the role due to budget constraints. There's a lot of things outside of your control. What I want you to do is, instead of putting the blame on you and wondering what you did wrong or what you could have done better to stand out, flip the script and think to yourself, that company missed out on me. I didn't lose out on the opportunity. They lost out on me. They're never going to get to see what my worth could have brought them. They're never going to get to see the impact I could have made their organization. Focus on that and only focus on one thing, and that is yes. Getting your yes and getting your yes is important, right? Focus on that one yes. Don't focus on the no's. Focus on that one yes, because that's all you need. And once you get that yes, guess what? None of those other no's matter. They don't. Are you going to remember what happened Are you going to remember what happened 8 weeks ago that you got that no from that company when you finally get hired? No. I can't remember what I had for lunch 3 days ago, let alone remembering a no 8 weeks ago, right? So try to spin those things and just focus on that one yes, and stop worrying about all the applications that you're getting rejected for and how many no's you've received, because those don't matter. Um,
And regarding
Casey,
Casey
yeah,
said, regarding finances, that's why it's so important to come to our events, because anything we have is very affordable or free. The fact is, there's a lot of junk out there that people just take your money and run. We don't. We
Yeah,
sit there
I
and
might get Yeah, I might get some slack for this maybe, and I probably not, but like, I get it. Watching your finances that you've saved up or anything you've saved in your jobs and whatnot, and you find and things are just going down. Like, I get it. It's tough to see your finances dwindle, right? Luckily, we have things like unemployment, and I know it only lasts for so long. I do tell people this though. If first thing I'm doing when if I have a layoff, if I have the money, okay, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a career coach, right? But if I have the money when I get laid off and I can balance things out in my unemployment, the first thing I'm doing is I'm honestly going to invest in my career, whether that's new certifications or going to school and taking a class or putting my money towards a career coach who's going to help me with my job search. I am doing those things while I have the money, if I can afford to do it on top of the bills, right? That's what I'm doing. And because the problem is this, I tell people like it's better off to do these things now because you want to get things going on your job search. You want to work with somebody who's going to get you hired faster. If you wait so long and every day passes by, and every day is a day that goes by that you're not making money, that you're not working, right? So if you have the money to do it, work with somebody who can help you out, because there are good people out there that can help you out and that want to see you succeed. And while there's no guarantee that I can get you hired in 30 days or less, I know that I can get you hired faster than if you go at it on your own, because I know the ins and outs of certain things. I know the applicant tracking systems. I have a good network and people I can reach out to on your behalf. It's well worth it to get you hired again. That's yeah, let's see. I know we're gonna let's wrap this up here, but yeah, Casey, good stuff there. I see hold on one second. Yeah. Casey said there's many scammers out there. Yes, unemployment ran out. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know how many months you get at YU. We get 6 months out here. But yes, please, guys, this was a great call again. We're gonna do it again. I don't know if it'll be in a couple weeks. I think it might be maybe three. Maybe Anthony will do it when I'm on vacation, or we'll just do it 3 weeks.
no
The next
way.
one, we'll see.
No way, Jimmy. We're attached at the hip, buddy. No way. I'm not gonna do it without you. Nobody wants to hear me. You're the pro. You're the star. I'm just an asteroid that goes around the planet. You're the star, buddy.
Right, we are attached to hip. I mean, I might not be as ugly as you, but we're attached to hip. All right.
It's close. It's close, baby. It's close. You're working your way up the charts. It's close. Um, and if you
Yeah,
didn't have any savings when you lost your job, this is what you do. Um, you apply at low level jobs. You get something that just tries to pay the bills for a while. You can always look for a job when you have a job. The fact is,
what,
apply at all levels. See what happens. Get money if you got no money. Maybe you babysit. Maybe you
what,
walk dogs. Whatever. Get
yeah.
it.
What
You
about
know.
taking a day? What about taking a day or two? I mean, like I said, everyone's different. I know everyone's situation is different, but what about taking a day or two to just, I don't know, do DoorDash or do Uber or something? Or I don't know, maybe there's a pizza place in the area that you can just deliver some pizzas for a couple days and be put on their payroll and they don't care. Like, whatever it is, like there's a lot of things you can do out there. And I always tell people this, like, be humble, right? No job is too good for you when you are looking for a job. If you need to work, only you know your finances, only you know what you can do. Casey, you say, yeah, that didn't work. I'm curious, and we can talk offline. But and I'm not. This is not nothing against anybody. Like I'm just curious. What do you mean that didn't work? Like Uber, anybody, like as long as you have a car and whatnot. From my understanding, I've never done DoorDash myself, but I know friends have done that. Like you can apply and start hitting on the road pretty quickly, like to just make some extra money. Like oh yeah, okay, there. You don't drive right now, so that's understandable. That's something that you can't control, right? I get it. You're not driving, so you can't do that, right? That's what I was saying. But like, if you need to get a
Okay.
job at, yeah.
Here's something
Oh,
to do, Casey. Here's what I want you to do. Start. Go to your community center in your town. See if they need a teacher for basic computer skills. Some people Teach people that don't know computers, maybe older people, how to get on the internet, how to get on Word, how to use Excel, basic computer skills. There are people that need to do that. That's another thing you can do. Okay,
Yeah.
look into something like that. All right, Casey.
Right.
You know,
Awesome.
and also, finally, Casey, here's another thing. There are people that you know that have small businesses. Maybe they have projects that they need someone to manage. Talk to them. Maybe you can get a project from them to get you rolling, and they'll give you a flat rate, and then that can help you. Talk to your friends who have businesses. They may they may be able to help you in some way.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing appointments or something like that, talk to them. Okay, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
up now.
yeah, let's shoot for the next, thank you all for being here, obviously, and joining the call. These have been great, the last three calls we've done. We've had some really good questions on here. That's good to see some familiar faces as well as some new ones too. I'm excited to meet some of these new people in here, on these on my discovery calls coming up here soon. So that's going to be exciting. And yeah, we'll be here in 3 weeks. We'll probably shoot for I think the second week of April will probably be the next one we'll do, and we'll do that on Wednesdays. We're gonna start doing Wednesdays actually, just because it's easier to do Wednesdays because I'm coaching soccer practice now for my daughter. So that's what we're gonna be shooting for is these Wednesdays, I think.
Casey, I have one more idea for you. Look in office parks near where you live. Go into the directory. Take a picture of the directory in an office park, and then go to every company in the office park and the buildings. Go to their website. They're small companies. You might have receptionist jobs. You might have billing jobs that are in the small companies that are in the office parks. Go for that. Okay, go to those office parks and then go check all of their websites and see what you got. Okay, see if that works for you. Something
Yeah,
else to do. Okay,
sounds
Jamie.
sounds good, Anthony. Well, let's figure out. Yeah, we'll get that next day up in April, and if anyone wants to reach out and have any other questions that they didn't ask on the call, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. And yeah, I
Let
think
me,
that's it.
Jamie. Let me post your information one more time to anybody who's here, so that people can get that. I'll tell you that spotlight thing is fabulous. That I'm pretty impressed. All those people. That's Jamie's information. You can check my podcast. It's right under me. It's my picture here, and here's my YouTube page, and get the videos out there. But Casey, I got those are I'm giving you different stuff because not a lot of people are thinking of these things. Okay, I got 100 ideas. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, and maybe we'll have a call. I'll give you rapid fire stuff that I wasn't able to bring up tonight. Um,
Sounds good.
Jamie, thanks. Maybe we'll get together. You're back around the
I come
11th.
back I come back from on the week of the 6th, April 6th. So maybe we'll shoot for, I think it's probably going to be April 8th or April 9th, I think is that Wednesday. So we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll either do the 9th or the 16th. We'll figure it out. Jamie, thank you. Have a great trip, everybody. Here's what I need you to do, everyone. I need you to tell everybody about our events. Please repost. Please tell people. Please comment. We are doing special stuff here. We need you to spread the word. Every one of you, spread the word aggressively, especially if you know people from the federal government that are getting laid off. Let them know about what we're doing. We are here to help you. Please
Yep.
spread the word. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, Anthony.
Okay. Have a great day, Jamie. Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Enjoy yourself. Yeah. Have a great night, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Great. Bye. Casey, reach out to me. Casey, reach out to me, and I will give you all kinds of ideas. The reason I'm giving you these ideas, Casey, is because you're trying so hard. So reach out to me and maybe we'll have a call and we'll go. Okay? You, I get it, but look at the office. Look at the office box, like I said, Casey. Take a look at that. See if that helps you. Does anybody else have any questions that I can answer for you now that you're here? We don't want to leave here. I don't want to leave until everybody's questions are answered because I know that feeling. I see it in other LinkedIn Live events. People have queued up with questions and they say, oh, top of the hour, gotta leave. I don't leave if people have questions. So, final call, questions or comments? Did you have a great time, everybody? Please comment. Please let people know. Please repost. Please spread the word about everything. Okay? Have a great day and stay safe and well, everybody. And please, if you know people in the federal government who are being laid off, let them know about my calls. Let them know about what we're offering. Let them know about the things that I put here, my YouTube page, my podcast, Jamie's free discovery call. There's a lot of people affected on the federal government side. Let's help them too. But Casey, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Make sure you connected to me, and maybe we'll have a call. I'll give you a bunch of ideas. All right, we'll see you later. Bye bye.